Hello everyone, it's me, Causa Corpse, everyone's favorite Disventure Camp YouTuber. I don't know, maybe you might like Silly Billy or Lich Gang instead, which if you like Lich Gang instead of me, you're fucking wrong! I'm sorry for not really uploading the last few weeks, I've been kinda sad. But don't worry, I'm not sad anymore, I am no longer sad. So here we have my epic Disventure Camp character rankings. Let's fucking go! I'm gonna make a video once All Stars is finished doing a super detailed opinion tier list thing. This is just my overall opinions on the cast that absolutely no one asked for, but I'm here giving them to you anyway. So without further ado, here I am, famous YouTuber Causa Corpse, about to introduce to you the most epic Disventure Camp opinions ever created in the history of ever. Oliver is okay. I don't really understand why he's so popular in the community as he is, but overall I think he was an okay character in season 2. His story was simple and to the point, and that's all I really have to say about him. He's kinda mediocre for me. Okay, but where the hell is this man in All Stars? Like, bro disappeared after episode 3, I think. Like, where is he? Carol makes me miserable. Every single time I see her on screen, I want to rip my ears and my eyes out. I thought her return in episode 9 was going to actually be interesting, but they completely wasted that opportunity by eliminating her in the same episode she returned. Overall, not a Carol fan. I don't really care about the fact that she likes animals, like whoop-de-doo, cool. I like animals too, they're pretty rad, I guess. Kai, in my opinion, is just a big barrel of sunshine. I think he was utilized perfectly in season 2. I know that everyone kind of agrees that Kai was one of the more lamer characters from the early merge, but I honestly disagree. He's one of my favorites from this season. He's just so fucking funny. Also, I don't care what anyone says. I think JPEG does the voice for Kai absolutely perfect. It kills me every single time he's on screen. I really do enjoy Connor in season 2. I think he has a simple and straight to the point story that I can really relate to. But as of right now, I really do hate the run that he had in All Stars. I am really hoping that he will be the character that does return to All Stars because I don't think his story is complete yet, but overall, Connor is good. He's just good. Who's Maggie again? Oh, right, the Ginger Giant? Oh, please. I know that Crit Cat is gonna have my head on a stake for this opinion, but I think Maggie is one of, if not the worst Disventure Camp character, purely because she is so forgettable and does absolutely nothing during her time on the show. I will give credit where credit is due though. I like her color scheme. That's literally it. Yule is honestly one of the most enjoyable pieces of shit in all of media. He is such a terrible human being, yet despite all of this, I always want to see him on my screen. He's so unbelievably petty and dumb that it just makes me laugh every single time I see him. Also, I think he was a really great addition to All Stars. As of right now, I do believe that Yule will be the main antagonist for the second half of All Stars, and if he isn't, I will be sincerely disappointed. This is a bit of an unpopular opinion too, but I actually did enjoy Tess in season 2. Some may argue that she's a bit shallow, but I really do like the scene that she and Hunter had in episode 2. That's one of my favorite Disventure Camp scenes of all time. I do think she needs to do more in All Stars because right now she's having a little bit of Rosa Maria syndrome, but other than that, I actually do like Tess a lot. Lake is good. She's just good. I understand why she's one of the more popular characters of this season because season 2 really did have a couple of blank slates, and considering her backstory and her development, she's easily one of, if not the most rootable Disventure Camp character. This might also be an unpopular opinion, but I think that her elimination was done well in Disventure Camp All-Stars. I know this kinda contradicts the first video that I made about Lake in Disventure Camp All-Stars, but looking back on it, her story really was just perfectly wrapped into a neat bow. And I think she did a good job of building up Ellie as a threat in Disventure Camp All-Stars. Also, I actually do really like her All-Stars design. It's very simple, but it's very cute, and I like it a lot. Good job. As you all know, I really do dislike Allie in Season 2, but in Disventure Camp All-Stars, Allie is one of, if not my favorite Disventure Camp character of that season. I'm not gonna go too deep into Allie because I already made a whole video about her, but yeah, I really like her. She's really sweet and adorable. Also, I think her new voice actress does a phenomenal job voicing her, so do definitely go shower her with some love. I really like Rosa Maria. I think she's really sweet and really adorable. However, she's the reasoning for Rosa Maria syndrome in Disventure Camp. Now, what is Rosa Maria syndrome, you may ask? Rosa Maria syndrome is a coined term that I just made up, in which a Disventure Camp character's existence is to purely support and develop the other characters around them. Sure, Rosa Maria has a few other personality traits that kinda makes her stand out a little bit, but let's be real, she's most well known for pushing the Lake, Rhea, and even James plotline. It may come off like I'm being a hater, but I'm not. I do really like Rosa. I just wish that we kinda got some more individual screen time of her on her own. And no, the fucking webtoon doesn't count! I like Hunter in season 2, but in All Stars is where I think he really does shine for me. I do kinda wish that we got more screen time of him though. He feels like he was cut way too early. Also, I may have some bias because he has one of my favorite designs in the whole show. I'm just gonna say it. Aiden is kinda bland. The thing is that he's not a bad character at all, but he's not a good one either. He's just there. He's a rootable protagonist, and that's his whole purpose. I don't think he would have been as popular if it weren't for Vista, the English VA, voicing him, because he really does do a phenomenal job of bringing the character to life. But yeah, Aiden, I'm on my hands and knees begging you to do something, Jesus Christ. I honestly have really mixed opinions about Rhea. Half of me thinks that she has a lot of potential to be a really unique and interesting character, and the other half of me wants to rip my eyeballs and my hair out every single time I see her on my screen. Although I will say that I actually do really enjoy her design in All Stars. It is very pretty. She is a very pretty character design. I remember at first, when I first watched Disventure Camp, I really didn't like James all too much. But over the last year and a half, nearly 2 years, he's slowly become one of my favorite characters in the whole show. I thought his redemption storyline in season 2 was really nice, and I really did like the relationship that he had with Aiden. Also, I am actually pretty glad that he was the first person eliminated in Disventure Camp All Stars, because it means that he didn't get derailed in any sort of way. Bro went out like a champ. I think Marcus and Nina would be appreciated more if they weren't so underutilized. Especially Nina, she's really fucking funny. I remember I used to think that Crystal was okay, but after talking a lot with my friend Lich Gang, I slowly began to realize that Crystal kinda sucks. She made a video discussing why, and I'll leave that in the description because it is actually a really good watch. Please go subscribe to her, she's really awesome. But yeah, she is a lot better on All Stars, but I just kinda wish she did something more, I guess. Moving on to season 1. I think Will was a really nice first boot character. He sets up Fiore's plotline perfectly and shows how much of a threat she is to the audience. I do really wish that we saw him more on screen though, because he is voiced by my very good friend Turg, and I think he's a phenomenal voice actor. I also kinda wish that we had more screen time between him and Ashley, as I think that Wishley is a really cute ship. Drew is... he's there. He was a plot device. That's all Drew was. Nick is my favorite Disventure Camp character, and I don't care what anyone says. I'm still very salty that he was third boot and underutilized, because he has a really interesting concept for a backstory that should be expanded upon. I also really love his design. It's really cute. And Derek Jackman once again does a phenomenal job voicing him. I am the CEO of Nicholas Milton III, and I love him to bits and pieces. I even got a custom made light of him. Don't ask why. Lil is very underrated. I think she's really pretty and her voice is once again really beautiful. Phenomenal job, Kenkoi. But she's another character who I think was heavily underutilized, which I always found strange considering she felt like the main protagonist for the first couple of episodes. I kinda wish they switched around the elimination order a bit so that Lil and Ashley could stay for 1 or 2 more episodes. But yeah, Lil is queen. She is what I call best girl. Ashley felt like Rosa Maria in season 1. In All Stars, I think she's definitely forming more of an identity to herself, but I would really like to see her play the game for herself instead of just supporting all the characters around her. Don't get me wrong, I do understand that we need support characters in a show like this in order for the plot to continue, but I just wish that the support characters had more of an individual identity. However, I will give Ashley the benefit of the doubt in saying that I think that she is the best support character in the show, as she does have more of an identity than Rosa Maria, but I think Ashley is honestly a little bit overrated. I do understand why she is loved so much though. Dan is the worst Disventure Camp character in the series, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says. He wasn't interesting, he floated the entire time, why? He looks like someone that puts deodorant on top of their BO, so he just smells like BO and deodorant. Gabby is a really fun and entertaining character to watch on screen. I always get enjoyment seeing her. I think she's been a bit bland for the first half of All Stars, but after episode 8, I do definitely think that they're taking her character in a more main protagonist direction. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Gret is one of my favorite characters in the franchise, and I love her to bits and pieces. I've been a Gret fan since season 1, and I will continue to love her all the way to the finale. Because she's gonna win. I fucking love Gret. She better win All Stars, please. Ah yes, Tom, the spy rapscallion. Another unpopular opinion coming in, but I honestly liked him a lot better in season 1 than I do All Stars. Don't get me wrong, I do really enjoy the comedic relief route that they are taking him in All Stars, but his main storyline with Jake is just so infuriating and I can't stand it. This is just more of a personal opinion when it comes to writing, but I really hate conflict in fiction that revolves around two characters just refusing to interact with one another. And I understand that in some stories this can work. Maybe I'm just being a little bit impatient right now, I'm not really sure, but I feel like this plotline doesn't really work with Tom and All Stars. And Jake too, but we'll get to him in just a second. I know that I'm talking a lot of shit about Tom right now, but I swear I actually do really like him as a character. I do like that they are taking on more of his flaws in All Stars, but that doesn't change the fact that I dislike the whole communication plotline with Jake. Speaking of Jake, I think Jake is a really well written character. Now before I get any Ellie defenders in my comment section, just wait until we get to her part. He is definitely more frustrating to watch, but that's what makes him feel more human to me. Episode 10 of Season 1 still leaves a sour taste in my mouth, but I think that's more of an Ellie problem than a Jake problem, I'm not really sure. Alec is a really entertaining character and I love him to bits and pieces. He was my second favorite character in Disventure Camp Season 1 and my second favorite character in Disventure Camp All Stars. Really well written, has a good voice actor, has a good design. He really is just a perfect combination of good things. Ellie is a character who I really love yet really hate at the same time. I think she's extremely well written in Season 1 and one of my favorite characters in that season. Now she is a terrible human being, don't get me wrong, but I really love her morally grey writing. As for All Stars, it felt like they completely butchered her character. What started as her feeling guilty for what she did to Jake to outright being evil to him in episode 6 is just so stupid in my opinion. All Stars aside, I do really love Ellie's writing. She's really complex and I really like that. Fiore is the most fun little shit stain that I love to watch on my screen. She brings me joy like no other 6-year-old child, and overall was a really fun antagonist. I didn't love her in All Stars or anything, she was just kinda there for me. Although she still had a lot of those sassy one-liners like she did in Season 1, which is always greatly appreciated. Fiore is cool. I like Fiore. Miriam is a really fun winner, and I do think she did deserve to win in the end. Girl didn't receive a single vote on her season. Think about that. I loved her plotline with Jake and I love the two of them as a duo. They really are fun and bounce off each other well. On her own, I think her backstory is really strong and well written. However, sometimes her explanations for being able to do things can be really stupid. Yeah, I was able to do this thing 60 years ago in high school, and I did this thing 30 years ago one time, and I've still regained all of that strength and knowledge to this day. Girl, okay, sure. But yeah, I do like Miriam. She is very cool, and I do think she is a fun winner. Derek and Trevor are the Disventure Camp duo. They're some of my favorite characters in the whole series, and I love watching them bounce off of one another. It's really fun. I do think I prefer Trevor over Derek, mostly because I do lean to more of the comedic relief characters. Don't get me wrong, I do definitely think that Derek is funny too. However, Derek's comedy is a lot more witty and kinda comes in later in the show, so I feel like it's not as impactful as Trevor's, but regardless, I really do think that they're both really fun and really good characters. Also, Trevik might be canon, what the fuck, hell yeah. Jensen is the actual definition as an underutilized threat. He was built up all season to be this really big final endgame boss, but no, bro just runs to a bus and drives off the edge and fucking dies apparently. I am still really interested in his character though, and I do kinda hope that he does get at least some sort of mention in Disventure Camp All Stars. But yeah, Jensen is, he's okay, I guess. And now one more character that I haven't mentioned, and the only character that isn't featured in Season 1 and Season 2. Emily is one of my favorite characters in the whole series, and I think she's fucking awesome. Not only is she sassy comedic relief, but she also seems to have a stronger story building up. She is what I wanted in Nick. Also, her and Trevor are the siblings ever. I love them. They are so sweet together. They are the besties. Anyway, I hope you don't take this video to heart. It isn't really meant to be taken seriously. I'm so exhausted with my life right now. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Now before I go, I just want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Sidespleen is the coolest, Top Ranger 237, and Ema Gaming.
Thank you all so very, very much. Mwah! Mwah! No, you make the show amazing.
You can join those little suckers over on Patreon from $1 a month, and in all support really helps me out a lot. Subscribe, please. We're almost at 3,000. Subscribe!